Chattle!
Yaddle Chattle!
A Star Wars podcast, baby! Brand new. Actually, this is episode 27.
I know.
I mean, we're really making waves here, my friend. My name is Darth David. I am the number one Sith in the galaxy, baby. I can't do it by myself. It's the push and the pull of the Force, man. So with Darth David, as always, the co-host, Jedi Jared.
Hello, David. How are you doing today?
Jared, I am doing fantastically. Of course, Rebel Force Radio is probably your number one Star Wars podcast that you want to be listening to for real Star Wars news and angles. But for a Sith and the Jedi to battle back and forth for 30 to 60 minutes each and every week, then you've tuned into the right place. Because you son of a bitch!
What do I do now? What did I do?
You know what you did.
Okay, what did
When
I
we
do?
get into our Andor discussion, you had all kinds of doubts about my prediction ability.
Okay.
You had all kinds of issues with the different predictions. And I believe I got at least one, maybe two predictions panned out with this 6th episode of Andor, which was spectacular. Come on.
It probably was the best episode of the series.
Unbelievable. So good. Loved episode 3, but this was the best episode thus far. And I don't know if this is going to be the pattern. Every third episode is the best one because they're telling them in 3 story arcs. They've told us this. We'll see. Well, let's get to Andor later.
Okay.
We're going to get to Andor secondly.
All right.
The thing that we need to do is cover a couple topics, get to some business, as they say. And yes, hello, you're welcome. Welcome to Yaddle Chattle, Yaddle Heads. Welcome back, Jedi Jared. Kevin Smith said that he will never direct a Star Wars movie, nor a Marvel movie. He said it's a fool's errand, and you're guaranteed to piss somebody off. Close quote. That makes me sad because that is what I'm feeling. With just the insane impatience and hyperbolic talking with Star Wars fans these days. By the way, it's not just Star Wars fans, it's everybody. It's wrestling fans, it's Star Wars fans, it's Marvel fans, DC fans, it's sports fans, it's fans of soap operas in the morning because of the internet. And because I genuinely believe, because of the original 140 character format on Twitter, that people only had 140 characters, and so every goddamn thing they said, every review that they gave on Twitter needed to be as hyperbolic as possible. Because when you only have 140 characters, then it needs to be, this is the greatest movie, or this is the worst movie ever. But Twitter's has expanded to 280 characters. There's other social mediums out there. I don't know why people keep getting so impatient and talk so angrily. There are people who are not into Andor, but I keep talking to them. These are the same people who said I quit Obi-Wan Kenobi after 2 episodes. Missing 3 fucking episodes of Darth Vader, may I add. And these same people who are now quitting Andor have no idea what they're going to be missing. Because I don't even know what I'm going to be missing or seeing. The show is a total mystery. But this 6th episode was great. But here's my point. Let's get back to Kevin Smith.
I think he's just covering because he's never going to be
asked. Is he going to ever get asked?
No. Think about the fact that, look at what, they went with people who, so with Marvel, they picked to really jumpstart the whole MCU. They picked Jon Favreau with Iron Man, right? He had proven success with Elf. It's considered a modern Christmas classic. Zathura.
Jon Favreau's great.
Like, he had a pretty good track record up until Iron Man and was able to elevate Iron Man and bring the MCU into start phase 1.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
They've had Kenneth Branagh, a Shakespearean
He's fantastic.
actor
and director. Great director, too.
Like, his Hamlet's incredible.
He did one of the Thors, right?
Yeah, he directed the first Thor movie.
So you're saying Kevin Smith is not on the level of these big-time filmmakers?
What I'm saying is that as someone who used to be a huge Kevin Smith fanboy,
You're not anymore?
I've kind of 180'd on him.
Well, you can go back and watch Clerks and Dogma and those early movies and enjoy it. No?
Yes, but like...
Some of the newer stuff isn't so great. Some of it is okay.
I honestly, and I've said this a million times, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, his best movie was Red State.
I love that movie.
It was his best movie. I think because it didn't feel like a Kevin Smith film. It was high drama.
It was great.
High drama. There was a lot of tension. It kept me at the edge of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like his best, like...
It didn't do shit at the box office. So that's the point.
But I don't
know. Kevin Smith goes out there and makes a great movie. No one sees it. Everyone's like, give us Clerks 4. But the point is...
I don't want Clerks 4, honestly. I wanted Clerks 4 20 years ago.
Let's forget about Kevin Smith. Is this an issue Star Wars needs to worry about going forward with other filmmakers? Because, look, last year, and by the way, I argued this till I'm blue in the face. I hate when people do this, and as someone who is a wrestling, sports, Star Wars, Marvel fan, I keep seeing this. Such and such fan base is the most toxic fan base in the world. And honestly, you can insert anything. WWE fans are the most toxic fan base. Yankee fans are the most toxic fan base. So blah, 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 blah. General Hospital fans are the most toxic soap opera fan base. And then Simon Pegg says Star Wars fans are the most toxic fan base. Simon Pegg said this. Listen, Simon Pegg, and to every other celebrity who cannot fucking get this through their head, who can't understand this.
Because he's
not everyone is on social media. And not everyone just talks shit on social media. Now, those are the small few. And because there are people who go on Twitter and just fucking troll everything, and everything they say is negative, and they hate on everything, does not mean they represent fans. I swear to God, I hope some of these celebrities at some point get more savvy to how social media and the internet works. Some of these people who join Star Wars conversations are legitimately not even Star Wars fans at all.
No, they're just...
But no, I mean like not at all. But they see something about like a black character has come out, and so they jump into a conversation by saying, "Oh, it's woke, and get woke, go broke, and this and that." No, and they don't even care. They've never even watched the Star Wars. These celebrities don't seem to understand. The people who shout and fucking complain on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, half of them are legitimately not even Star Wars fans. The other half, who at one point were Star Wars fans, no longer are, or they make money by trolling. All you have to do is go to a Star Wars celebration to realize that the majority of the fans are nice. I went to a Star Wars celebration. Everyone was fucking having a great time. Everyone freaked out. Everyone was happy.
Well, yeah.
People weren't fucking trolling. I don't like this character and that character and this character sucks. It wasn't like that. And I'm sick and tired of every celebrity like a Simon Pegg saying toxic fan base. No, there are toxic people in the world and on social media. Come on, man. Get a little smart. Get some fucking street sense, Simon Pegg. And that goes to Kevin Smith and anyone else who is too much of a coward. I mean, listen, I love Kevin Smith. I would like to see him do a Mandalorian episode. I'm not talking about a movie.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Why? Jon Favreau can't let Kevin Smith fucking do a goddamn episode of television?
No. I don't think Disney will allow Kevin Smith anywhere near their properties. The simple fact that he hasn't put out something that's made real money in a long time. We
can't have him do an episode of one of the fucking 4 shows they have going. The 4 live-action Star Wars series. He can't do an episode.
I don't think they want him to. I honestly...
We can give Kevin Smith an episode. Can we give... You couldn't have given Kevin Smith the Frog Lady episode? From Mando.
That was a hilarious episode, though.
I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying. In the big, Mando canon and Star Wars canon, I don't think the frog people are going to have the most everlasting legacy.
They're not going to let him anywhere near it. They're not even letting him talk about in documentaries.
What director who hasn't gotten a Star Wars break yet would you like to see?
A director?
A director. I'm a big fan of lots and lots of directors, but most of them I don't see fit. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. There Will Be Blood. Magnolia. That's not going to fit. No. I love Wes Anderson. Royal Tenenbaums. The Grand Budapest Hotel. That shit's not going to fit.
I would say probably Guillermo del Toro might be.
That would fit.
I mean, I'd love to see what kind of creatures he'd come up with.
I love Guillermo del Toro.
He would design all sorts of different races.
That would fit.
Put a different kind of
he would fit.
Take on
all right.
Any kind of alien
That's
species. Obviously, I guess go hand in hand. Peter Jackson, maybe, because he can handle something big.
Peter Jackson would be tremendous. The woman, there's a woman who I would like to see. Her name is Catherine Bigelow. Are you familiar with her?
Yes.
She did Hurt Locker and
Point Break.
Point Break, but the thing that I'm concentrating on is her 1-2 punch a few years ago of Hurt Locker and then Zero Dark 30. If you've never seen those two movies, Hurt Locker was more of a fictionalized story that took place in the Persian Gulf, and then Zero Dark 30 was an actual, based on real events of America trying to find Osama bin Laden. Both movies, she sets up tension extraordinarily well. She can tell action, and both movies took place in a lot of sand, including Point Break, which also took place in a lot of sand. Sand, drama, tension, and action. Catherine Bigelow hits all of those. I'd like to see her do a Star Wars.
That's
just me.
And
I'd like to see what's his face, Coogler, or whatever.
Ryan Coogler.
Yes,
he did
Black Panther.
And he also did.
I felt like Black Panther was the
Creed
most
movies, right? He did
yes,
at least the first.
He did
Creed.
the Creeds. I'd like to see Ryan get a shot because I felt like Black Panther was in some ways very visual. And in some ways, I could see it was so visual, especially towards the end with the technology. I think he could easily transition into Star Wars.
We talked about this last time, so I won't go too much into it. But Black Panther kind of made me CGI out.
You didn't like it. I understand, but give Coogler give him the Lucasfilm, the ILM fucking treatment, and all that.
He got the ILM.
Oh yeah, it's right. ILM does Marvel. Now that I think about it, we'll get him in the volume with real sets then. But I'm saying because of the visuals, some of the beautiful looks of the Black Panther seem to me to fit into Star Wars because it almost felt like a different world. You know what I mean? It's not, Spider-Man's in Queens. And this thing is in that thing, and that thing's over there, and he's over here, and up over there, ho, ho, ha, 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 ha. Sorry, I got a little excited. I don't know what I was doing right there. But the point is, Siths are unpredictable. That's what I am.
You know what? I would like to see Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg would be fantastic. We did see Steven Spielberg, apparently, according to that Vice series.
Direct that scene. The
whole Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker Episode 3 lightsaber duel. That was all Spielberg.
I'd like to
storyboarded and everything.
You know who I'd really want to see?
Now, I too want to see Steven Spielberg, but I think that ship has passed because he's friends with George, and I think if he would have made it, it would have been done with George years and years ago. With George out of the picture now, I can't see Spielberg, but of course, I would love to see Steven Spielberg. What are you, nuts?
I think Joe Johnston.
Oh, he'd be tremendous.
I think
Captain America director.
Well, no, I mean the fact that he worked
for ILM
so much on the first.
Worked with George, the original trilogy.
With George, he has been inside George's head, so I think he could probably deliver on a great product. There's a director I like a lot that he has somewhat of a bad reputation, but he makes great fucking films. They always get nominated for Oscars. David O. Russell.
He's good. But I think he just had a huge box office bomb. He just released a new movie. Got no money at the box office. So Star Wars is not. Once you have failure, Star Wars don't want to touch you. Look at other directors.
I think the issue, you can't necessarily judge in 2022 how his films are going to do because the world has changed since the pandemic. Like, pre-pandemic, do you think something like Silver Lining, or post-pandemic, do you think Silver Linings Playbook could have gotten released?
I don't know.
That's too wide release. Or would that be a Netflix or an Amazon Prime film now?
Oh, that's okay. I see where you're going with
he,
that.
He directs like the kind of films that he's directing aren't like
they're smaller films.
They're small, like they
Intimate.
have big name actors.
Yeah,
like they always get nominated.
But what
for
makes
awards.
you think he could do action? I guess there was a little action in Three Kings, which was a very good David O. Russell movie, and that had sand. See, you have to have directed in
something with
sand.
sand.
Yeah, it's got to be something with sand. So now that I think about it, get the director from Weekend at Bernie's. There was a lot of sand stuff in that one as well. All right, so that's the Kevin Smith. Ahmed Best has just teased a possible one-man play where he is going to be discussing his Star Wars experience. He tweeted out, "Now it's time to tell my side of the story." And with all kinds of hashtags, Jar Jar Binks, Star Wars, my story, my side of things, and this and that. I'm very interested in this. Now, what is interesting about this, because we talked about Ahmed Best before.
Yeah.
When he was making the movies, everyone loved him. We said that Liam Neeson was around Ahmed Best one day and literally called his agent and said, "This guy's funnier than Eddie Murphy. He's going to be the biggest box star. He's funnier than Eddie Murphy." That was a Liam Neeson quote. He's going to be the biggest box star in the world. He's funnier than Eddie Murphy. George Lucas was high on him. Everyone was high on him. So for Ahmed, I don't think he's going to be complaining about his experience of making the movie.
No, he's going to be.
But the fallout.
He's going to be going into all the things.
The fallout.
You rile against. He's been on the other side. He's been on the other side of the toxic fan base.
Yeah.
So,
and there are, listen, I'm not
that,
trying to put my head in the sand and say no toxic fanboys exist. I'm just trying to say that they're not as gigantic of a number as a lot of these celebs think they are, just because they scream the loudest on Twitter and YouTube.
Well, I don't tweet. I don't have Twitter, so I'm not involved with Twitter. But
you're on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, but I don't comment as much on YouTube. But anyway, what was I going to say?
You're on YouTube as a host, you fucking fruitcake. That's what I'm talking about. What are you doing right now? You're commenting. You don't comment on YouTube? What the shit do you think Yaddle Chattle is? It's a Star Wars podcast where we comment about Star Wars, you son of a bitch.
You're right.
I mean, I know I'm the Sith, and I'm not supposed to treat you like this. But then again, I am the Sith, and I am supposed to treat you like this, and you're a stupid son of a bitch.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're commenting right here on YouTube.
Fine, fair enough. What I meant was, like, as Opie used to say, angry typing guy.
Oh, please don't quote that fucking guy on this show. Whatever.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Sorry, but that's where it came from. So what I was going to say is I think that there is usually, in every circumstance, there's usually a very small vocal minority. But, the ultimate proof is the dollar sign. Is people vote with their wallet. So
do you think Ahmed Best? Do you feel bad for him?
Kinda.
For all the things that people like you said, that when the prequel came out, when episode 1 came out, people said that movie and Jar Jar ruined their childhood. Ruined their childhood. And really they did use a different R word. A lot of people on the internet used a different R word. We're even though we're Yaddle Chattle and we allow ourselves the ability to curse. We're not going to be going there.
I wouldn't blame him for that. I would have blamed George for that.
The fucking character was fine. Now, do you think so? Ahmed Best is.
I feel bad for him.
One of the details that
people work.
One of the details people are talking about is that they're wondering if Ahmed Best is going to reveal bigger plans for Jar Jar, specifically rumors that Jar Jar was supposed to be, and I know it's fun to think of Jar Jar as a Sith. That was never going to happen. But the rumor, the real rumor, is that George Lucas had Jar Jar as a Yoda type, that he was goofy at first, and then would actually be revealed to be super duper strong with the Force. And you remember when Yoda did that little comedy act? He punked Luke. You know, he did a little pranksters. He did a little impractical jokesters on Luke Skywalker. That had a real fun time at Luke's expense.
Well, he was playing
eating his breadsticks.
Country Dove.
I know, but I mean, you know, Luke just fucking fought a battle on a goddamn frozen planet. He's probably hungry. And there's Yoda eating his fucking goddamn breadsticks. That's all bullshit. And throwing him away. What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this thing? Just looking at everything way too closely, too.
He's like a flashlight. It's like
it's like, how did you even get here? How did you even get to this planet? You've never seen anything. Anyway.
Hold on.
So what about that?
Just a side note. Leia loves Yoda. Loves Yoda.
Leia who?
My daughter, Leia.
Oh!
Loves, like, Yoda, not Grogu or Baby Yoda. Loves regular Frank Oz Yoda.
Oh.
Like, she was upset the other day, and I put the little scene on where he's explaining the Force to Luke, and she just went,
Yeah. Yoda's the best.
Oh, she loves Yoda.
I love Yoda.
Loves Yoda.
Right behind you. Right there.
Loves Yoda.
Yoda is one of the greatest characters in the history of cinema. When you think about George Lucas and how many iconic characters we're talking about, and to truly be iconic, you don't even really have to know who they are. You can see their silhouette. Well, you can see a silhouette of Yoda, and I'm telling you, 80% of the people in the world, not just America, are going to know Yoda. It's the same thing with Vader. It's probably even Han Solo's got even a famous silhouette. The legendary, iconic characters that George created. It's pretty mind-boggling, actually.
I think that, the fact that both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda now become synonymous with mentor, like, you won't say, oh, he's my he or she's my mentor. You'll say, oh, he's like a Yoda or an Obi-Wan Kenobi to me.
That's right. That's true. So what about Ahmed? Would you go see this play? This one-man play?
Yeah, I'd probably see it.
What do you think he's going to talk about?
I think it's going to talk about growing up, how he got into acting and comedy, and then, like, this huge opportunity.
Wasn't he in Stomp, though, also?
I don't know.
I think he was also in Stomp. I think that's how George Lucas found him. I thought he was working on Broadway. Or maybe Rent. I don't know.
So he went from being on Broadway actor.
He was a legitimate Broadway, theater guy,
stage actor.
Yeah,
like he went from that to being in Star Wars, which is something everyone talks about. Like you hear about when Ewan McGregor's talking in Jedi's Return. He's like, I grew up watching Star Wars, and I dreamed of being in Star Wars.
It's a dream come true for a lot of people.
It's a dream come true for a lot, especially Gen X.
And then when it turns out to be the worst nightmare, and you're like, just that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. That is a tough break. I would like to see this. I hope Disney Plus plays it or something, or gives it some kind of treatment.
You think Ahmed Best got it bad? Look what happened to that poor kid, Jake Lloyd.
I know. The episode one actors just got destroyed.
He had to move to another continent. He moved to Australia,
and that's terrible. It's not the kid's fault that George Lucas wrote Yippee. That the fucking line of Yippee. Everyone hated the goddamn fucking Yippee line. He didn't improv it. He wasn't out there improving. He was doing the lines that were given to him. The lines sucked. But the movie was good. The movie's solid.
Can you imagine, like, you're a little child actor, and, like, you just did a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he had just done, like, he was in Jingle All the Way.
Oh, wow.
He played the son.
I didn't know. I've never seen it.
He probably did a lot of commercials. I know he's probably done some other movies. And, like, this is huge. His parents are, like, probably big Star Wars fans.
Him and then, everyone hates him.
And then everyone hates him.
And he's, like, 8.
He's just a little
Him and Ahmed Best should combine forces.
The raw end of the deal.
They should combine forces and just do something. All right, so I think I would see Ahmed Best. Forbes says Star Wars land speeders could be a real thing in the very near future. They say that they'll probably be able to be making land speeders within the next 20 years.
That means we're also going to get hoverboards because it's the same shit.
Sign me up. I fucking have. First
It's
of all,
2022. Steven Spielberg promised us hoverboards 7 years ago.
But we're not talking. First of all, Robert Zemeckis directed Back to the Future. But Spielberg produced it, but Robert Zemeckis directed it. Nevertheless,
that's another person who could probably do Star Wars.
Zemeckis would do an excellent job with Star Wars, I'm sure. But no flat tires. Think about it. You get a land speeder. You will never have a flat tire. You'll never have to fill up your tires for the rest of your goddamn life. Do you know how wonderful that is? No fucking need for tires.
Now you've just put all those people out of business.
Come on. Those people can do something else.
That is literally what a lot of people, like, that's how they view stuff like the cancer industry.
What? Because
there's a whole industry behind.
So we shouldn't get rid of cancer?
Well, I think personally, I think we should. But a lot, like, think about the fact that billions, if not trillions of dollars get poured into these.
Well, that's wrong. Come on. I mean,
we should. I feel like we found a vaccine for COVID.
What kind of show is this?
Never mind.
No, I mean, what?
I don't want to get us flagged.
You're covering. Why? We can get flagged?
I don't want to say the C word.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! Look at this. Now you've gotten this fucking flag. I try to run a goddamn fucking clean ship over here. I try to fucking do everything by the goddamn motherfucking book over here.
I'm sorry.
You son of a bitch. Next story before we go on to Andor.
Okay.
Christian Bale. We brought him up last week. He said in a little joke, they asked him, would you ever be in a Star Wars now that you've been in a Marvel? He said, oh yeah, I'd like to play the stormtrooper who hit his head on the walkway there. But he did seem like he was cool with Star Wars. He did actually seem like he was like, no, Star Wars is great. And after that kind of comment, people started to imagine what he could do. And now there's a little talk, there's a little push for Christian Bale as Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's the push.
I think we're gonna see Thrawn in Ahsoka. I think that race.
Anyone listening to Yaddle Chattle, I'm sure knows this already, but Thrawn was a character who first emerged in the Timothy Zahn novels that were put out in the early 90s. And the reason why those novels were so huge, it's so important, is because there really was nothing Star Wars. There were some comic books, and there was some, but the Timothy Zahn was big because I remember very vividly they had radio commercials with like lightsabers and X-Wings, like all kinds of like Star Wars special effects. And it was like the Timothy Zahn, Star Wars is back with the Timothy Zahn thing. And for a while, I was like, just make these into the fucking movies. Like, make these into episode 7, 8, 9. But nevertheless, Thrawn was the main bad guy, sort of the main bad guy of that awesome blue alien. Human, just with blue skin.
Yeah, humanoid.
In my mind, I could see Christian Bale as Thrawn. To me, they would have basically a similar look. You think about Christian Bale, American Psycho, shorter hair, blue skin. That's Thrawn. That's Thrawn.
Remember when I asked you what actor you want to see a Star Wars movie, and I said Hugo Weaving? I thought Hugo Weaving would be solid. Would be perfect for.
But you could get Christian Bale. He's a 2-time Oscar winner. He is. I'm just saying. I love Hugo Weaving. I've met him. He was wonderful, man. Oh yeah.
He seems like
he was tremendous. Big beard at the time. I didn't know what movie he was going for. I seen V for Vendetta. I seen The Matrix. I seen Lord of the Rings. He ain't got no goddamn beard in any of those movies. Nevertheless, he had a big beard. He was a very friendly man. Smiled constantly. I'm not sure if he was high or not. He might have been. But Bale has got a little more in terms of the cred. Come on. He can, some people might say Christian Bale is the best actor of his generation. He's the same age as DiCaprio. Kind of him and DiCaprio are sort of,
I actually saw something on Instagram where, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently every role gets offered to Leo first. Leo turns it down, and Bale says yes. And that's
hysterical.
Well, that did happen with American Psycho.
DiCaprio turned it down?
They wanted the writer and the director wanted DiCaprio. I think the studio wanted DiCaprio
Perfect.
too. And he turned it down. and then
Christian
Bale. Like,
I'll tell you that helped him because
he should have won an Oscar for that.
He was in Empire of the Sun when he was a kid, but we really hadn't seen him as an adult. I think that was kind of like the biggest adult movie, right?
He did Empire of the Sun and Newsies.
Yeah, but as an adult, did he make any big? I want to say
Rain of Fire movie.
I want to say American Psycho was the big breakthrough, and then from there is. But
you know what?
Hey, listen, I thought American Psycho was amazing. I thought he should have gotten nominated for an Oscar. Actually,
when it came out that Batman Begins was like going to be a thing, and like Christopher Nolan was going to direct it, and they were talking about Christian Bale. I'm like, Christian Bale? I'm like, dude. He did American Psycho and then Equilibrium. Have you seen Equilibrium?
No.
It's like the science fiction martial arts movie where he plays. It's kind of like almost Fahrenheit 451 type of thing where he plays like an agent of the state.
Okay, what is your point? This isn't the Christian Bale show.
No, but I'm saying he could have. I knew he was going to play a great Batman.
Okay, but we're not talking about fucking Batman, you son of a bitch.
Sorry.
My point is, should he be playing Thrawn? Jesus.
He could. I could see that.
I think he would be absolutely perfect as Grand Admiral Thrawn, and I want to see it happen.
I could see him also playing, as you were talking about, like him playing like an off clone of Palpatine.
That was my idea last week.
I could see him.
I like that idea even more because I want the Emperor back, and I want my idea is we get some sort of Emperor DNA, and I know people are going to think.
Why not have him play a young?
All right, then do a young Emperor.
Training under Plagueis, like he's learning the elements of politics.
I think it's fine. I'd love to see it. And furthermore, you could slowly transition maybe Christian Bale into being the Emperor going forward, and be like, hey, we'll put $30 million. I mean, we'll give you $30 million for 7 minutes of screen time. We know it's a pain in the ass, but you're just going to have to sit there for the makeup. You're just going to have to sit there for the makeup. That's like the biggest pain in the ass of the Emperor. But if you sign on to be the Emperor, I don't know. I'd try that. I think he might do it.
He might do it.
All right, Andor, episode 6.
Okay.
It's time.
High tension.
Phenomenal, first of all.
The entire episode had me sitting at the edge of my seat.
Oh my God, it was excellent. I told you, this Tony Gilroy knows how to set up the tension and set up the anxiety.
Yeah.
The action with Tony Gilroy is all up here. It's all psychological. But then when you actually have action pay off, then it just becomes, this is good. And while I did think episode 5 had some slow parts and didn't have a ton propelling the show forward, the story forward, there was, now looking back on it, a few very important things. First of all, who called it? What's that guy's name? The skinny guy. The skinny guy is always on fucking Cassian Andor's ass. From day one, the skinny guy who took his crap, took his guns and was cleaning it, and he was like, "Oh, she told me to do it." First of all, I'm not even sure. What? Skeen. Then he took the knife and he cut Cassian's necklace off. I mean, Skeen has always been a problem.
Yes.
So maybe we'll tell this episode will be a little bit out of order. We'll just try to go with the flow. Skeen turned out to be the piece of shit. Who called it?
You did.
Who said Skeen was a piece of shit on Yaddle Chattle, baby?
You did.
55 points for me, minus 14 points for you.
Yeah, but I got something right.
What?
I got that Karras was gonna die.
Who's Karras?
Karras is the John Hannah, the zealot kid. The one that was doing that monologue very fast.
Oh, that kid. Thank God. Thank God. The British kid. The British kid that we compared to, we compared him to the kid from Matrix.
Yeah.
Only with a British accent. He was Mouse from the Matrix. I hate to say it, I was happy to see him go. He really annoyed me. The quick talking and the fastness and the Britishness what can I get? Oh, you have to say that you have lots of weapons, and so I see that as an advantage. And
did you notice that there was this one shot on the show?
Jesus, kid, slow it down. I have to put subtitles for that guy.
There was one scene on the show where he had this like they were all standing in formation as everyone was coming, like all the religious people, and he had like this little smirk, and I'm like, everyone else is supposed to be like at attention.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Supposed to be soldiers, and he's just like kind of like smirking. And I'm just like, was this like? Did Diego Luna try to make him laugh? And this was like the best take they got.
There's a possibility of that.
I'm starting to like think now, like conceptually, when they're shooting this show.
Yeah.
Like
no, there's a possibility.
Like, was someone trying to make him laugh, and this was the best take
maybe,
they got?
Or maybe the guy isn't the greatest actor. Young man, maybe you are good, but quick talking does not mean you're a great actor. Also, British people, talk fucking louder. Jesus Christ. I know British people aren't Americans, and we tend to be loud. But Jesus fucking Christ, every British person whispers. They all fucking whisper. Hello. Hello. And when he's sitting there talking to Cassian and just, I couldn't sleep last night. But I couldn't, I think we have a chant. And I think that you are going to be here. And then he's like, do I look scared? Do I look angry? Do I look mad? You don't. You look just fine and balanced. I don't even know who I'm talking or who I'm talking to right now. It's too quiet for me. I was happy to see that guy's spine get crushed by that giant box on the ship. I was. And then I was high. Okay, so that young man's a goner. We lost a lot.
We did.
We lost the Imperial spy. He got shot and killed.
The lieutenant.
We lost now we found out one of them, that other guy was a former stormtrooper.
The guy looked like Bubba Smith.
Yeah, that dude.
Did he look like Bubba Smith?
A little bit looked like Bubba Smith. He's out.
Yeah, he's dead.
And then the little British boy, he's gone. He got his back broken or his spine broken or some shit. And like I said, I hate to say it, but I kind of enjoyed seeing that. And then, of course, what's his name? Skeen, we saw him get killed.
You see, I thought that was going to be a test.
No. Cassian was feeling it.
I was like waiting for him to be like, like he's trying to feel him out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like a Han Greedo shot.
Once he said, I don't have a brother. And once he said, I don't have a brother, I thought, Cassian, you better kill this guy. Even when the guy was like 40 million apiece, I didn't think he should necessarily get killed. But once he said that, of like, well, what about your brother? I don't have a brother. Oh, fuck you. You told me last week your brother killed himself. Now you don't even have a brother? No, I thought Cassian absolutely needed to shoot that guy. I thought that was a great job. And he goes back into the thing. And you see that doctor was fantastic. The four-armed doctor.
Yeah. Who
kind of had like a Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future type of thing, but still the forearms. I thought the forearms looked great. I thought the CG looked great.
That was pretty cool.
So lots of things going on in this episode. Going earlier, the eye. I loved that concept, and it was totally fresh, totally something we have never seen before in Star Wars. I'm not even sure we've seen in Star Wars animation. And I don't think we've seen in any other kind of science fiction. This was something highly original. I loved the eye. Thought it was a great idea.
And you know what? It had, as far as we know, it had nothing to do with the Force. This was like just very much indigenous, religious, cultural,
physical phenomenon too. It's just a physical phenomenon.
Yeah,
it's like a Halley's Comet situation every 3 years.
For them, it's like a religious.
Right.
It's a
for them, it is. For the tribes people,
that was actually really cool.
We'll call them the tribes people. That was amazing. And the TIE fighters, the guys getting in the TIE fighters look great.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What do you think about all the characters sort of getting killed besides Cassian, besides the girl from Game of Thrones? I guess the one girl,
she got away.
She got away. But echoes of Rogue One, I felt.
Yes.
Maybe Cassian, this is his thing. Is he just goes mission to mission, small team to small team.
Like Suicide Squad.
And Suicide Squad, and he emerges, like he stays alive. And like basically almost every other time, either everyone dies or, 85% of the crew. If it's a crew of 8, 6 of them are dying. But Cassian's always the 1 or 2 people who gets out alive. I'm starting to think this is how we do this.
Well, So this is supposed to be like a psychological, like political thriller, right? So you have to look at it from the perspective of the rebels are considered left-wing terrorists.
Yeah.
So
in some ways,
the idea of them going is almost all of these missions are always gonna be somewhat suicidal.
They're okay. There's a little bit of something there. I mean, they're also
all
just a rebellion.
You could easily be able to die for the cause.
You could make an American Revolution comparison too, is what I'm saying, and I'm not sure that. And maybe the British thought that the Americans were terrorists. I don't know. Maybe they did. I wasn't there. I wasn't born in 1776. You piece of shit.
Okay, fine.
I was born in 1977. Close. 201 years. Jared.
Yes. Well, let me ask you. What did you think of Mon Mothma's
speech
in a dead Senate?
Yeah, I thought that was great because now we're seeing how it was so easy for Palpatine to disband the Senate by Episode 4. You know, remember when Tarkin and Vader comes in and he says, the Emperor has just disbanded or gotten rid of or something or dissolved, dissolved. The Emperor has just dissolved the Imperial Senate. You could see why. People slowly but surely get the picture that this shit is just, it's all fucking bullshit because the Emperor's the only one who makes any decision.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the only one. So this is all pointless. And you're just seeing scattered aliens and a couple people over here.
And they're completely disinterested in whatever she had to say.
She's talking to nobody.
But she can recall not too long ago,
when the Senate mattered.
Padme and Jar Jar Binks making these big, huge Senate speeches where everyone's there.
Of course.
When she was like a lowly intern.
Episode 3. No, she was still there. She was in the Senate because remember I told you about that deleted scene with Mon Mothma. She might have been a senator even back then.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in a deleted scene that's on YouTube where it's the same actress, Genevieve O'Reilly, actually played her, and she's talking to Bail Organa and maybe a couple other people. But so she had importance even back then. So if she remembers, what it was like, what the Senate was like in the Episode 3 era, this is depressing for her. She realizes I'm not going to make a difference. But
this is what
that's the point.
This is what radicalizes her.
Because she realizes I'm not going to make a difference in the Senate. And she's not. There's no amount of bills and no amount of legislation that she could push forth that's going to help out the galaxy. Ultimately, there's a goddamn dictator at the top. You got to take him out. She's slowly but surely getting that as well.
Picture. Yeah.
I like the mountain people. There was one little thing that was starting to drive me not nuts.
Are they dressed like Mongolians?
Starting to give me anxiety. When in that fantastic action sequence where they were cutting between 2 or 3 things, they were cutting between the Game of Thrones girl and her friend Kinta or whatever. They were cutting between Cassian's crew, then they're cutting between the tribes people. Every time they went back to that song, it was like the same. But like, couldn't they have given another verse, a bridge to the song, another thing? By the 4th time, rewatch that episode. I'm sorry I'm splitting hairs here, but by the 4th or 5th time, they go back to those people. The song is a little bit like annoying. It's like I'm so much invested in everything that I just don't need to be hearing the because it felt a little gimmicky by the 4th or 5th time. The first 2 times or whatever, I'm okay with it. Just thought that was a little much.
I thought it was a little bit of misdirection because you could tell that the leader did not like the Emperor.
Of course not. They're on his fucking planet, and they're on the goddamn. They're practically in the temple. I thought it's a sacred temple.
They were going to start fighting them.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm like, when are they going to start the revolution?
When he said, they don't bother. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. I had a feeling like that. This is what we were going to see. We were going to see some sort of, prayer, ritual, and chanting, and a festival. I'm just saying, could we have a couple of different chants? Could we, a bridge, like I said, verse, chorus. After a couple of verses and choruses, you gotta give me a bridge. That's the whole point.
So where does this go now? Because we've just ended Arc 2.
So Cassian got a ship, and she has the ship with all the money in it. So yeah, technically they're supposed to be going in two separate directions, right? And I don't know where Cassian goes. I would imagine she is going straight to Luthen, who was awesome at the end, laughing and everything like that. Luthen is great. Got to give me some more Luthen.
Well,
not enough Luthen.
We're going to see more of him taking on the mentor role with Cassian.
All right, because I love him. But I loved when he went into the back and he's like, let me see it in the back if I have it. And then he just, he just was fucking happy as shit. And he's all creepy and he's all David Lynch and he's all like, he does some weird face and he puts both arms up and he's like, yay, we did it. But I like Luthen. This was a spectacular episode though. I had a couple of those little quibbles. Just little tiny quibbles. And again, I am not the Star Wars fan who has one quibble and then the whole fucking show is destroyed. I feel like getting back to what we were talking about with Kevin Smith and the toxic stuff, some people seem to have that. If they don't see a lightsaber, they're like, oh, I'm not watching this. I remember hearing that as a criticism with Obi-Wan. They watched 2 episodes and said, no lightsabers after 2 episodes, I'm out. So there's very little patience with Star Wars fans these days. You have to let things play out. In a series like this, it's more important than ever. And why I said, episode 5, it didn't seem to propel the thing forward. But, like I said, we learned a couple things.
It's setting everything up.
We learned more about characters that we needed to learn if they were going to kill him off in episode 6. We got to learn about that guy Skeen, okay? And
there's that was whole misdirection.
Yeah, and when he told Andor that my brother died, he put rocks in his pocket, went onto a boat and killed himself. I'm like, Jesus, okay, well that's why this guy's here. And so when that turned out to be bullshit, okay. There was, you got to know about the Imperial spy who helped out the crew, and that he got, he got promoted, or he got passed over for a promotion that he really wanted. And it was nice to see his boss. Let's talk about that guy, the chubby guy with the beard, who was. I liked the part early on in the show where he couldn't get his belt, and he's like, they fucked up my belt, and his wife is like, perhaps you've expanded. In other words, perhaps you've become a fatso? Husband? Perhaps you've become fat. And that's why me and my little son hate your guts.
I love how Tony Gilroy has delved into Star Wars middle management.
Yeah.
And how they're called midwits, are even in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, absolutely they are.
And just the general bureaucracy of some of these guys are completely career driven and other guys are just whatever.
Yeah. That engineer, that guy, he kind of didn't know what the hell was going on. He's like, has it started? When he saw one of those little flares shoot over his head, he's like, what the fuck do you think? The whole thing, it's called the Eye. There's a zillion of these flares. Do you see one? It's probably started, stupid.
I love that he's just aloof.
Then he got shot, though.
Yeah, but he got aloof. He was aloof, and then he pulled that gun out. He was
that was good.
He was not afraid to jump into the shit.
He showed real Imperial shit right there. And it was interesting that he asked for the kid to be let go.
He's a colonel, so he knows negotiation.
No, but think about that for a second. He asked for the kid to let go, not for us, not for his family, not for the other Imperials. That's kind of interesting. He said, get the gun off the kid, let the kid go.
Because the kid isn't Imperial, therefore he's not expendable to. Necessarily expendable.
I know, but you don't see an Imperial acting like that usually. Is my point.
Fair enough.
No,
fair enough.
They're very cold-hearted people. They wouldn't think about let the innocent child live. They're thinking about themselves and maybe the other Imperials who are in the room. But that's what they think about. Very good stuff across the board.
That was a great episode.
What about the fact that at the end we also saw those, the classic Imperials, the guy with the gray longish hair, the blonde lady. We saw them. He said this is not a meeting. He called them in to that area. He said it's not a meeting. This is about information. What's that all about?
I think that they've never had this kind of thing before.
So was that a response to what we saw
Yes.
on the planet with the eye and everything like that?
Well, because it is a response to the heist, because the Empire
Okay, it's a response to the $80 million heist.
Has had
$80 million.
Yeah, I know.
Boom.
And there was shit ton more. There was at least it looked like $500 million.
I had a little confusion. I'm not gonna lie. When they said we're gonna go to the vault, I thought they were looking up like Imperial. I thought they were going there for Imperial documents.
Money.
I obviously know that now, you son of a bitch.
I mean, Luthen pretty much said
I'm saying
steal the payroll.
But didn't they initially say something like, "Oh, the payroll"? That's what they said.
Well, payroll. I guess they don't deal in as much with digital
All right,
currency.
let me say, I thought, Jesus, I got this totally fucking wrong. I thought they were looking up records, okay, follow me, of all of the senators.
Oh.
No, people who were taking bribes, people who were on the Empire's payroll.
Well, they're all
no, Mon Mothma's not.
She's
you
an
would
Imperial
imagine
senator, so she has to get paid by the Empire.
Oh yeah. Well, so the Empire doesn't need to grease any more wheels or bribe people. What I'm saying is I thought this was mainly going to be a ledger, a record of people the Empire was bribing.
Okay.
Which, I don't know. Maybe
I think the bribe...
But this was straight up cash, right?
Yeah, this was...
Because when I saw the fucking shit fall out. There were little gold pieces.
Yeah. Those are
credits.
Galactic credits.
Credits. I know what the fucking Star Wars money is called, but we're doing Yaddle Chattle. We don't have to do everything fucking by the book, you piece of shit.
Okay. Well, it was a bank heist.
So it was a bank heist.
Yeah,
okay, but can I just say, did you get that right off the bat?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now I feel like an idiot. Thanks a lot.
Well,
I'm already a Sith. I already feel bad about myself. And now you're basically saying I'm stupid. Huh? Darth Stupid over here.
I mean,
forget about Darth David. That's not my name. My name is Darth Stupid. I'm a fucking moron.
He offered Cassian a $250,000 or $250,000 of the credits.
200,000.
Yeah, he said like 200. So I was like, okay, they're taking physical money.
Okay, see, I just missed some of that stuff.
Okay.
Again, some of it is just British people talking too quietly for me. I try. Look, I live in an apartment complex. I'm probably going to get evicted at some point simply because of these Yaddle Chattle episodes and the Davey Mac Sports program, the other podcasts that I do, where I'm screaming for an hour. And I'm sure that at some point they're going to have an issue with this. I don't even know where I was going with this conversation.
You're not getting evicted.
Oh, okay.
You're fine.
Now, all in all, thoughts? Andor episode 6. And any predictions for
I don't know where they're going
where we're going forward.
I don't know what's going to.
I think what has to happen next is Cassian's going to meet Mon Mothma. I think he's going to. I think Luthen is now. I don't know if Cassian is going to be easily I don't know if he's going to go straight to Luthen, and maybe the girl brings the $80 million to Luthen, and he goes, "Where's Cassie?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. He took a different ship." He goes, "Oh shit! Now I have to go find him," and then he's going to get Cassian to Mon Mothma, I think, this season. Not season 2. Because season 2, we're going to, everything's going to be real quick. Each 3-story arc is going to be 1 year leading up to the events of Rogue One. So, but I just have a feeling like that's where we're going. We're going to, how does Cassian get hooked up with Mon Mothma? It's going to be Luthen.
Well, you also have to keep in mind, I think the reason why he did the heist, he hates the Empire, but he wants to basically fund finding his sister. That's been his priority.
Okay.
So we still have that open story.
We have that one out there as well. But see, that could be a season 2 thing. Could be.
I don't know. That's the MacGuffin of this season, though.
All right.
So I don't know if they're gonna
Could
carry
be.
the MacGuffin over for season 2.
All right, fine. Could be. I thought it was a decent idea.
We still have to see. I think he may return home, and we're gonna see more of like the aftermath of now that the Empire is taken over.
Stay out of that place. Just stay out of that place. I know Marva's there. Pick up Marva and get the hell out of there.
Well, there's also Bix.
Just get your buddies and get the hell off that planet.
So
Nothing good is going to happen on that planet for you. I'm telling you. Okay?
And we still have to figure out what's going to happen to Karn.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know Karn's going to go after Cassian. I think Karn is going to be dead at some point with a Cassian laser bolt right to the eyes.
I don't think it's going to be
I
that.
do.
I think he's going to get something that's going to... It's going to be far more ironic of the... The bureaucracy. It's going to be... He's going to be like a prisoner of the bureaucracy.
What if the Karn thing just turns into Psycho? And the whole thing, Karn's, sub-story is he just stays in that fucking apartment with his mom. And, like, they have to...
It becomes the first
They
Star
have
Wars
to, like...
sitcom?
Yeah, like... No, like, they have, like, a spare room that they keep renting, but then Karn keeps, like, killing these people. Like, slowly but surely. Because he's so pissed off and what, like, the embarrassment that happened to him with Andor and those guys until Karn finally kills his mom.
I feel like there's going to be something with him and the blonde Imperial chick.
Okay.
I feel like...
I think that's fair.
There's going to be something that happens between the two.
Fair enough. Let's do a Star Wars cage match.
Okay.
And then end this.
Oh, I've got the cage match.
End this brilliance.
So we've been talking a lot about Scheme.
Andor. Episode 6. Thumbs up from the Dave Man.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up from Jared. That means 2 9-numbs up.
2 9-numbs up.
Okay, when we're both in agreement, it's 2 9-numbs up. Thank you very much.
So this week's cage match, I want to see Skeen take on Lando. Who's the bigger sellout piece of shit?
Okay. Fair enough.
Because I just
good.
watched Empire.
This is a good one.
Lando sells out his friends.
Also,
he
I think
redeems himself, but
and I think they're both good shots. I'm not sure how either are with hand-to-hand combat. I guess Lando handled himself a little bit in Return of the Jedi. But if you notice, in Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and even Solo, Lando doesn't really fight with his hands that well. Han Solo hands.
In Empire...
Solo he shoots.
Yeah, maybe in Solo, but in Empire, he's not shooting at all. It's
I know.
all Leia and Chewie shooting the entire time.
And fucking Han Solo decks him, don't forget.
That's true, yeah.
He's able to get a punch off on Lando. He's been tortured by Darth Vader, and he's sluggish, and Han's still able to get a nice fucking hard right into Lando. No. So I don't think he... You know what? I hate to say it. What's the guy's name? Skeen? Skeen's gonna win this. Skeen's a low-down, dirty son of a bitch. And while I prefer Lando Calrissian a million times over as a person, because I knew that Skeen was going to fucking betray us, and I did call it. Another 55 points for me, minus 14 for you, because you tried to make me forget about my prediction. And I don't forget about my fucking predictions.
Okay.
I make predictions, they turn out right. So I think Skeen's going to win. I think Skeen is... I just think he's a little bit of a dirtier dog than Lando.
Well, I think Lando's going to win because Lando knows how to take a punch.
He took the punch from Han, but he also got put on his ass, and Han was at like 20% strength.
I think he is he's a con man. So he'll either talk his way out, or he'll he'll rope-a-dope.
Rope-a-dope?
Yeah.
And what is that strategy?
Well, he's gonna lull Skeen into thinking he's gonna win,
and who created the rope-a-dope?
Muhammad Ali.
Against what opponent?
George Foreman.
Wow, I am shocked. I am the host of the Davey Mack Sports Program, and I knew that easily.
Can I ask
I cannot believe that you were actually able to. Okay, maybe you could get Ali. I didn't think you were going to get Foreman.
Can I ask you
I really
a question?
did.
Because this is kind
of... A lot of people wouldn't have gotten Foreman. Everyone think Ali and Frazier.
No.
People forget the Foreman was a major... I mean, the Foreman was Rumble in the Jungle. It was Zaire. It was very, very famous. But when people bring up Ali, if they don't know the history, they automatically go to Frazier. That's why I said that. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it was the rope-a-dope that gave him the Parkinson's syndrome? From just
No, I think it was built-up punishment combined with the third Ali Frazier fight. That third fight was bad for both guys. Both boxers got severely injured from that third fight. That was the Thriller in Manila was the third one. And that thing went, either all 12 rounds or all 15 rounds. Yeah. And they gave each other brain damage. Seriously, they were getting headshots.
But Foreman was a monster.
I meali this was Frazier. Thriller in Manila was Frazier. Okay.
But the rope-a-dope, taking all of those blows.
Watch how many blows Ali took to the head. Not as many as you would think. Frazier was going hard on the body. And what Ali did was Foreman was going hard on Ali's body. And Ali knew this, so he allowed himself to get punched a lot in sparring sessions just to build up the toughness in his skin, in his body. So that's why. And he covered up like this. He covered up as, this is not fucking boxing talk! If you wanted this, do the Thinking Back Sports program. You always do this. So Lando?
Yeah, I'm taking Lando. I'm going with Lando.
Give myself 12 points. Skeen wins that fight. I'm sorry. That'll do it.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Let's get the plugs in.
That's the end. I can't do this anymore.
You can't? Are you sure?
No.
Are you gonna...
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
What's the plug?
What's the plug?
I'm trying to find the fucking song.
Yoda theme?
Yoda. Where am I? Yoda? Oh, I'm in the wrong section, Jared. That's
You're
why.
in podcasts.
I was in podcasts. That would be weird if I played Yaddle Chattle podcast as the outro music. That would be fucking strange.
That'd be meta. But we're not meta. So, anyway, you can check out eastsidedavecountry.com. You can go to YouTube, Eastside Dave TV, and check us out there. You can follow. We're available across all podcast platforms on the Watcher/Yaddle Chattle feed.
That's right. Just put in Yaddle Chattle, you'll find it. And Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, and so forth.
Also, you can follow Eastside Dave across all social media platforms.
That's true.
At Eastside Dave.
Everywhere.
And if you have any questions, comments, theories, anything, you can email us at yaddlechattle@gmail.com.
Well, Jared, ultimately, I thought Andor Episode 6 was a winner.
It was.
And again, this is why you got to keep watching your Star Wars and just stay with it and maybe don't judge so quickly. I hate to... I try to be positive. Okay? Just stick with stuff. The good news is this show is 12 episodes.
So we're halfway through it.
And now I'm feeling like halfway through, we have gotten a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like we've almost... It's starting to now almost feel like, we're coming towards the end of the season. Shit, we got a whole nother half.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I've been too trained in that 8-episode thing. It's not just Star Wars. Stranger Things is oftentimes 8 episodes. Game of Thrones on HBO was 8 episodes. 12 episodes makes a big deal psychologically. I feel like I will always give the benefit to the filmmakers because, okay, we got, some time to wrap some shit up. So I'm into it.
Okay.
Final thoughts on Andor.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the sister. I think he's going to find her. When he finally finds her, she's going to be killed by the Empire, and that's what's going to radicalize him.
Oh shit. That would be tough if that happens. All right, listen.
That might be the next arc.
Oh, listen, this guy. All right, you know what? One last one. Plus 55 for me, minus 14 for you. All those ideas were horrible. I'm Darth David. He's Jedi Sharon. This has been Yaddle Chattle.
Good night,
everybody.